I've worked at the same company for about 10 years now. My life is a simple existence. Not that I mind. I'm fortunate enough to have lived in the same small town my entire life. My office building is 2 blocks away from my apartment, so I don't have to bother driving. The company I work for is a financial advisement firm, for which I work organizing and distributing the spreadsheets for each client. The company itself isn't very big. In fact, the number of employees is about 30. Most people think it's bland and boring knowing everyone you work with. I find it to be nice and comfortable. I find that staying in my comfort zone best suits my work habits and mentality. Of course, my therapist pushes me to get out more and meet new people. But I enjoy my life, and I take pride in having control over what happens, for the most part, in my everyday life. Routine is my best friend. The office building is located on the main street in my hometown. The buildings themselves are quite old. The town itself was built in the early 1800s, but restoration projects have allowed some of the still standing, older buildings to be memorialized. Obviously, with structure modifications and the evolution of building practices, the main street I currently live on is a bit more modern. Given my routine and dislike of a lot of change, you could imagine my frustration when my boss bought the building next door and decided that my department would be the one to move. By building, I mean it's a staircase that goes up 1 floor to what looked to be an old apartment. There was another flight of stairs that went up further to where the bathroom is located for my fellow employees and I. It made me itch how old and creepy the new building was. But I used the breathing techniques that I had learned to calm myself and tried to focus on my work. Many employees complained about having to climb the extra set of stairs to use the restroom. But that's where I found my enjoyment. Instead of standing up and taking a quick turn to the bathroom, I was able to get up and stretch my legs as I climbed up the stairs. It was like a little break from sitting at the desk all day. Everything seemed fine, minus the old smell of the office, and there was a weird attic or storage space door across from the bathroom. Due to the lights not being connected from the office floor to the bathroom stairs or the bathroom itself, we came up with a system to pretty much let others know if someone was up using the restroom or not. If the light was on, someone was up there. It took a while, but soon people got in the routine of using the system appropriately. One afternoon, I had to use the restroom, so I flipped the light switch on and bounded up the stairs. The light from the hallway illuminated the area enough so I didn't turn on the light switch to the bathroom. I just left the door open, knowing no one else would be coming up after seeing the light was on. As I finished up my business, I flushed the toilet and approached the sink. I heard a faint creaking noise coming from down the hallway near the stairs. I paid little mind to it until the creaking turned into what sounded like footsteps coming up the stairs. "Someone's up here," I called out. But there was no answer. The footsteps continued to climb, becoming louder and louder with each step. I turned the sink off and dried my hands quickly. I raced over to the top of the stairs and looked down No one. Nothing. What is going on? I walked down the stairs and opened up the door before turning off the light. I turned and looked back up the stairs. Why I did that, I couldn't tell you. It's not like anyone would be standing there anyway, right? Of course, there was no one there, so I turned the light off and shut the door behind me, returning to work. The next few days were uneventful, and every time I used the restroom, nothing strange happened, until the following week. I was in the upstairs bathroom when I noticed that my shadow was not the only one moving. In fact, it looked to be in the shape of a girl. If my guess was correct, it looked as if she was standing right behind me. I spun around as quick as I could, and of course, no one was there. I shook my head and laughed to myself. I went over to wash my hands when the bathroom light went out. Luckily, I could still see with the hallway light on, but it still startled me. I quickly washed my hands and briskly walked down the stairway. As I went to grab the doorknob, a quiet whisper tickled my ear. "Where are you going?" I heard. I was frozen with fear. I couldn't move. "My name is Adeline. What's your name?" I finally gained a bit of strength and turned slowly toward the source of the voice. No one was there. I hastily grabbed the doorknob and swung the door open and shut the light off. I made every excuse in the book as to what could have made that noise. It could have been some coworkers walking by the door or something. But when I heard that name, it sent chills down my spine. I put the instance out of my mind and returned to work. The rest of the day was running pretty smoothly until my computer started acting up. The thing kept freezing and not responding. Finally, I shut the computer down and tried to reboot it. But when I hit the power button, it didn't turn on. My next best guess was to unplug the computer from the surge protector, which was shoved under my desk. I crawled under to find the plug when I heard the voice again. "Why won't you play with me?" it asked. Now, I really felt like I was going crazy. I unplugged the computer and after a few seconds, plugged it back in and returned to my chair. As I pressed the power button again, I noticed a faint reflection on my computer monitor of a little girl standing behind me. I jumped up, startled, and looked around. But she wasn't there. I sat back down and noticed that the computer still wasn't turning on. "Come on," I said, frustrated. And then I heard her whisper again. "I'm gonna make you play with me." The computer shot back on, exactly where I had left off. Chills shot down my spine. I'm definitely not going up to the bathroom again this afternoon. As the day came to a close, I packed up my things and started to head down the steep steps of the building. I heard a faint knock on the door to the flight of stairs leading up to the bathroom, but I willingly ignored it. There was no way I was going to check that out. I slowly made my way down about half of the steps when I felt a small push against my back. My legs gave out, and my body hurled down the rest of the steps. When I came to, I was in the hospital. The nurse just walked in. "Oh, good. You're awake," she exclaimed. "How long have I been here?" I asked. The nurse smiled. "A couple of days now. But the doctor said that if you're feeling up to it, you can go home tomorrow." I was relieved. "Did anyone come by from work and say what happened to me?" I asked. The nurse paused, and then answered. "You did have some coworkers stop by, but no one said anything." She took another long pause. "Your daughter stopped by as well. She's such a cute little girl." I felt all the blood leave my face as I turned pale white. "I don't have a daughter," I said. The nurse laughed. "I see you have a sense of humor as well. That's very good." "What was the little girl's name?" I demanded. The nurse continued to laugh as she walked out. "I'll check on you in a couple of hours. You should continue to rest." She closed the door to the room, and I just sat there confused and a little creeped out. After a while, I decided to turn on the TV and try to sleep. The sound of the television was so comforting. I slowly closed my eyes, and then I heard a whisper in my ear. "My name is Adeline."